Well, welcome back to the Stadium of Light. We're delighted to inform you that Sunderland have won 1-0 against Gillingham, but they left it late, didn't they, Danny Collins? Very late indeed.
Yeah, they did. We didn't think it was coming, did we? I thought, we'd used all the substitutions as the game looked like it was petering out, really. They weren't offering a lot going forward. Vidane Oliver was isolated. We were regaining the possession. Coming forward, they had a lot of bodies behind the ball, and in and around their 18-yard box, and we weren't creating too much in that last 10 minutes or so. But as we've seen in the recent games here as well, you've got to keep going to the end, and it's proved worthwhile. And Nathan Broadhead off the bench pops up with the winner.
Yeah, you've got to hand it to Alex Neil, don't you? Because it was two of his substitutions, two of the three combining for the goal.
It was, Elliot Hamilton picks that ball up, doesn't he? Just hangs a loopy cross really over the back of Tucker, who I thought was their star man in terms of defensive work. He was in the right place at the right time for a lot of the game, but it's that split second. Broadhead's just off the back of him, playing on the shoulder, up and over the top of him, and he plants it. And from where we're looking at it, we've just said there, haven't we? It didn't feel like it had gone in. It took that long to go in maybe it's clipped the post or gone into that side netting, but massive relief around the stadium. Elias, big 3 points. As I said, at the end of the season, we'll see how important that is.
Yeah, they were asking questions all afternoon, Sunderland, and of course they didn't find the breakthrough until the 95th minute.
Yeah.
But they were just lacking that final moment, that little ball through, or that shot on target, which just beat the keeper, weren't they, all afternoon?
Well, end product, isn't it? It's the most important thing in football, putting the ball in the back of the net. That's why the money men play at that end of the pitch, and they get paid to put the ball in the back of the net. We've seen it last week, say 2 weeks ago now, down at Lincoln. A lot of good play, created a lot of openings, could have won it 3-4-0 on the end of the day, but you don't put the ball away, you don't pick up the points. It looked like it was going to be the same story again this afternoon, but thankfully, as I say, lads have kept going, credit to them, kept going to the end of the game, and we managed to nick one past the goalkeeper and take another 2 points, so it's a vital win.
Yeah, Sun now just lost 1 in 9, and another clean sheet as well, which can't be overestimated.
No, it's right, it's at 5 and 6, I think now, isn't it? So yeah, and
majority of figures.
Let's be honest, we didn't really look troubled at the back. They had a lot of long throw-ins coming in there.
I can't remember Patterson making a
save.
save.
No, he didn't have to, did he? Could have watched the game with us, really, couldn't he, up here? Vidane Oliver won a couple of flick-ons, but he was too isolated. If you're going to play that style of game, at some stage, if you want to win it, you've got to get runners up beyond him. Kellerman was isolated, really. He was playing 30-40 yards deep of him. Yeah. They had 9 men behind the ball, didn't they? And it did become difficult for us, and you can feel a little bit of unrest in the stadium as well. Towards the end of the game, the crowd are knowing we've got to pick up the 3 points. And he's looking at the clock there, and you're getting into the 80s, and it's getting a little bit edgy, a little bit nervy in the stands. And we didn't really create. Corey Evans had that one effort, didn't he, what he put over the bar.
To be fair to the crowd in here today, Danny, I think they're well conditioned following on from the Crew and the Fleetwood game, and maybe even the Lincoln game as well. They know what they're going to expect on an afternoon like this at this point of the season, and they stuck with the side at times when there was a bit of a lull. They were, shouting, "Who are the lads?" to try and get them going, and they stuck with them in numbers as well, because we've seen periods of time during this season and previous seasons and recent times in League One where the numbers may have gone the last 10 minutes or something like, but they really did stick around, didn't they? And I said it in commentary, the roof would come off if Sunderland were to find the goal, and there was a kind of expectancy that it was coming, wasn't it, all afternoon?
No, and you're right as well. And listen, these last 4 seasons have not been easy for the Sunderland fans where we find ourselves, but they keep coming in numbers, and they're expectant, and so they should be at this level of football. And I think coming here today, and we played Fleetwood, who are down there struggling. These are struggling, and Crew as well. They're not going to come up here and play open football and try and take us on in a football match, because 9 times out of 10 we're going to come out on top. Unless it's a Wigan, a Rotherham, or one of these top sides who will come here and they'll want to play an open game, it's not going to happen. And we know what's going to be the case. They're going to stick a load of bodies behind the ball, defend the width of the 18-yard box, and they've done it pretty well, to be fair. We perhaps didn't put enough quality from wide areas into the box today. Ross didn't have too much to go at, did he? He had the one late on where I think Lyndon Gooch got down the byline, fizzed it across. Yeah. It was a good block. I think Tucker it was that come across on the slide. So Ross didn't have too much to go at, but you've got to keep plugging away. And I said, while you've got Patrick Roberts, you bring an Embleton off the bench, Broadhead off the bench. These types of lads at this level of football, you're going to get opportunities, and you've got to stick in there. They did get a little bit leggy towards the end of the game, Gillingham. You're looking for those little openings. Didn't really come too much today, but just that split second, that's all it takes. One good ball in from Embleton, and there's Broadhead. Busy as he is, he's always bright in that 18-yard box. He scores different types of goals, pulling on the shoulder. He's not massive, he doesn't need to be. It's his movement which causes the problems there for Tucker, and he's just wrong side. He has a panic up, can't get there. bang, plant it in that far corner.
Let's have a look at the scores from in and around EFL League One then, if we can, and then we'll look at the table following that. Okay then, Wigan 1, Bolton 1, that was a result from earlier today. Aki Stanley 4, Cheltenham 4. Charlton Athletic 1, Lincoln City 2. Crewe 1, Fleetwood 3. Ipswich 0, Cambridge 1. MK Dons 2, Shrewsbury Town 0. Morecambe 3, Burton 0. Plymouth 1, Oxford 0. Sheffield Wednesday 2, AFC Wimbledon 1. And Wycombe 2, Doncaster Rovers 0. So there's a couple of obvious ones you want to talk about there.
Well, you're looking at Plymouth. We weren't sure what would be the best outcome, really. And I said either a draw or a Plymouth win, I think. And I think that keeps Plymouth at 7 points. But, yeah, we play them in a couple of weeks, don't we?
Yep.
I think that next. I think that. I'm not sure if we've gone above Oxford. We'll have to see it in a minute. But we've got Oxford next, as you say. Yep. So that's a massive 6-pointer in terms of that one. And obviously you're looking at Sheffield Wednesday and Wycombe winning as well. I wasn't sure about Ipswich, although they've been on a good run. I thought they'd have to win, maybe 6 of the last 7. I think that may be them done now. I'm not sure, in terms of Ipswich. Big loss for them, really, isn't it, at home to Cambridge? The run they've been on, you'd have fancied them.
Let's have a look then, Danny, at that all-important league table. I think MK Dons might have put some pressure on Wigan there. No, not quite. Okay, then, that's how it stands. Let's read up from 6th, where Sunderland find themselves. And obviously the teams around us also on 40 games played. Then we read up the table. Sheffield Wednesday in 5th, also played 40 on 72 points, so 2 points ahead of Sunderland. Then you have Plymouth Argyle in 4th, winning this afternoon on 77. It's quite a leap, that, isn't it?
Well, it's massive,
yeah. And then we have MK Dons on 79. And then who would have thought that? Both Wigan and Rotherham on 80 points. At one point, those two were running away with it.
Yeah, well, you look at MK Dons now, they'll fancy themselves, I think, of getting back into it. Yes, Wigan have got a couple of games on them and Rotherham as well, game in hand, but you're fancying them 3 to fight it out for them automatics. Plymouth, great result for them up against Oxford. Look where Oxford have dropped to now. But they've still got some tough games. They've got a right tough run in, haven't they, Plymouth?
Let's look beneath us, though, Danny. That's where the danger is at the moment for Sunderland. Ipswich, as you say, probably missed out this afternoon, big style, didn't they?
I think so, yeah. I think if we hadn't won there, what would we be on? 68 points, wouldn't we?
They haven't played the game more as well, though.
We'd be sat in 9th, I think, wouldn't we?
I think at one point this afternoon we were 8th.
Yeah, so there we go. That's how important that goal is from Nathan Broadhead, and you've got to keep plugging away. There's still going to be a lot of twists and turns. I've had a look at the other fixtures for the other teams, and they have got this. Every team in that top sort of 6 or 7 have all got to play 2 or 3 games against each other as well.
Well, Danny, just look at Sunderland's next fixture. We have to play away down at the Kazam against Oxford. If Sunderland were to win that, what's that do for the morale and everything?
It's massive, isn't it? Yeah, you're going back-to-backs. Big result today. Sigh of relief after today's result, and then you're going down there against Oxford. Oxford top scorers in the league, free scoring. Obviously haven't managed to get a goal away at Plymouth today.
This is Sunderland's remaining fixtures, Danny. So the next game is against Oxford away next weekend. Join us from 2:30 here on SAFC Live for that one. Then at home against Shrewsbury Town. Plymouth Argyle away. Again, another team around us as well. That's on Sky, so we won't be here for that one. Sunderland versus Cambridge after that. And then again home against Rotherham in the last game of the season. Will be against Morecambe, but who knows where Rotherham will be by that point.
Well, that's exactly. I've heard a lot of people saying, it's been rearranged. It's a good thing because Rotherham will be home and dry by then. They'll be promoted. I'm not so sure. I think that one's going to go down to the wire with the 3 at the top. I think we're obviously ourselves, and you maybe can put Plymouth in there. I might be doing them a disservice because they were right up there, weren't they, for 20-odd games, Plymouth. Then they had a dip. They've come back strong, to be fair, but they've got a terrible last 4 or 5 gagames.
But Plymouth, there will be teams will miss out, or there will be teams will duff up the end of their season, won't they? Chris Waddle said, I was watching a program, listening to Chris Waddle about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and he called it. He said Rotherham will not win the league. He didn't fancy him automatic as well, and you just think. This league throws up everything, doesn't it? Anything's possible in League One, and if those two, Wigan, and if there was a change at the top, it's not impossible, is it?
No, it's not. I know they've had a bit of a sticky spell, Rotherham, to be fair. I think they're obviously Papa John's final as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
And 1 or 2 others. But I think they're solid. And I said it early in the season. I said if anyone finishes above Rotherham, then they'll go up automatically, which I still think is obviously going to be the case. But I wouldn't write them off. I think they're strong. They're a strong unit. They know their jobs. 1 or 2, say Ogbenny's their sort of flair player out on that right-hand side, and obviously Big Smith up top gets them the goals. So no, they've obviously got a game in hand still as well. They've been up there for a while. They'll go the distance, I think, Rotherham. But our job, obviously, and our main priority is to try and secure a playoff place. So we've still got 6 games to try and do that.
Okay then, let's have a look at your thoughts now in hashtag Ask Danny. Oh, we haven't done highlights yet.
But yeah, we better have a look back at them. Haven't we?
Let's do highlights. Sorry, we're just getting carried away with the moments in the final seconds of the game. But let's look at it from the start here, Danny. We watched these at half-time, and Sunderland asked a few questions in the first half. Of course, massively shaded the possession stats as they did all afternoon. But it was just that almost moment, wasn't it, at the end?
Yeah, it was. I wouldn't say we were knocking on the door in that first half. Maybe rattling the gate on the way
Okay,
to the house,
you can have
weren't we?
that one.
Yeah, we were getting into good areas, weren't we? Time and time again, really. And it's just end product. Final ball wasn't quite there at times. Not too many saves from the goalkeeper. At the same time, from Gillingham's point of view, they didn't offer a lot, as we said there. Anthony Patterson was pretty much a spectator for the 90 minutes, wasn't he? I think Kellerman had one good effort, didn't he, from the angle in that first half?
But again, I think Patterson had that covered, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's got to be a wonder strike if it was going to beat him. But you see that one there, Luke O'Nien. Credit to him. He gets beyond Ross Stewart, getting into the box. It's a difficult one because he's spun his body round and he's facing towards our goal and tried to help it on. There's that effort there I was on about. But again, you're clutching at straws, trying to find opportunities for Gillingham throughout the 90 minutes. I think this one here is it. Ball stood up, isn't it? And Patterson, as I said there, that was what you want now. And I think credit to him, earlier on in his career, he was a little bit, what to say there, not too sure whether he wanted to come and claim those balls there, but he's growing in confidence, and that comes from playing games of football.
It's massive for a goalkeeper, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. And for the lads at the back, if they know that they've got him behind him there and he's confident, he's giving them a big shout, and he's coming to pluck them balls out the air, you can't beat that as a defender when you know that's going on behind you. Patrick Roberts, I thought, again, he was at it. You know, he wanted to get on the ball. He was causing them problems, especially in that first half, seeing a lot of the ball. Yes, he's going to drive inside more often than not, and then it's that bounce pass or that little final end product, which, I'm not saying it was down to Patrick, or it's the movement off the ball around him, which perhaps wasn't there today. That one there, it's unlucky that at times, I think good link-up play. Dennis, I think, knows he's just going to be offside.
There's lots of those triangles in and around the box, wasn't there?
But just look at Gillingham, though. They've got eight, 9 men behind the ball at times. It's difficult, whatever level you play at.
There was 9 there.
Yeah, it's 9. Watch a lot of Premier League football. Watch Man City. They come up against this week in, week out, and they've obviously got the top players in the country, in the world, and they have to grind it out sometimes. It's 70, 80 minutes on the clock before they get that one opening as well. So we're obviously down at League One level, and we've got to keep going. That one's unlucky there for Ross. I think it may have been offside, but it's just trying to knock it down, isn't he, to Luke O'Nien. And here comes Patrick again coming across, and we've seen this time and time again in that second half. He was looking for that yard, wasn't he, Patrick? It never really came about for him, because every time he went past one man, the next one was stepping onto him. But I'm sure that's something they've worked on in the week, Gillingham, knowing we've got 2 wingers who like to come inside on their favoured foot, and because they've got 6 or 7 bodies in and around the 18-yard box, they just pass on to the next one, and it becomes difficult. This one's unlucky. I think Ross there, he doesn't give Nathan a great ball. I think play it on the floor. He sort of fizzes it at him waist height, and it becomes difficult for him to try and get some contact on the ball. I think this one, you see Broadhead there. He's got 2 arms round him, the man behind him. Gets away with that one a little bit.
Yeah, you're not going to get that though, are you, really?
Oh, well, we've seen last week, didn't we, down at Lincoln, so you have to grind sometimes to get a penalty at this level. But yeah, as the game's wearing on now, we're getting towards the end of the game. This is what I was saying in that first half. They've committed bodies there off the throw-in, and look now, counter-attack. Can you break with a bit of pace? And we do well here because they step up thinking he's offside. But Nathan, he's quick in the legs, Nathan, and his mind as well. He doesn't switch off, and he keeps on. He said, "No, you leave it. I'll take over this one." Sets it back for Corey. Maybe just a yard behind Corey. Has to wait for it and can't get it on target. And this is the one here. It's a good block from Tucker on Ross Stewart. And then, as we're saying now, we're into the 80s, aren't we, in terms of the minutes, and we think the clock's wore down. But we carried on going, and we've made the substitutions, as you said.
Well, interesting. It's Gooch who pulls it back for Embleton.
Yeah, the 3 subs combining Gooch, Embleton.
Perfect.
Nathan Broadhead. And there we go. And you see what it means to Nathan there. He's frustrated for him the last, 10, 12 weeks or so. He's been out a while, came back at Charlton, picked up an injury again. But just keep your eye. I say he's off the picture now. Keep your eye. Pulls on the centre half. You could say that he'll want his wing back helping him out there. He's got in
Jack
between
Tucker
the two
as well,
of them.
your man of the match for Gillingham. I shouldn't say
he was, yeah.
The man
That's
of the
all
match,
it is.
yeah.
People look at the highlights and say, "Oh, he's off the back of Tucker." But throughout the 90 minutes, I thought he defended really well. He made some good interceptions, headed clearances. But that's all it takes there. You can have a good game for 89 minutes, and that vitally important bit of the game there, when it counts, is saying he's switched off, but he's off the back of him, isn't he, Nathan? It's good movement from Nathan from our point of view. And he's just guided it into that far corner.
Conscious of time, Danny, before we do the hashtag Ask Danny, just seen the stats at the end of the game. Sunderland did have 80% possession to Gillingham's 20. Get this though, 25 shots from Sunderland this afternoon, only 5 from Gillingham. But Sunderland only have 5 shots on target.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, getting into good areas. Without seeing the stats there, you'd say how many shots. I'd have probably said around 20.
Yeah.
How many did you work the keeper with? Not enough for those 20 really. And I'm sure Alex Neil will see that, and he'll say that. Same last week, wasn't it? Getting into good areas. Same down at Charlton. I'd say the good thing to say from that, though, is we are creating. The worrying time is when you're not creating opportunities.
Anything,
and then you start to panic and think, well, what's going on here? We've got all these quality attacking players in the squad, but they're not managing to muster much up in the game. So positives are, and we've took the 3 points, haven't we?
Let's have a look at your thoughts and reactions to the game then on hashtag Ask Danny. As we do, this one is from Patrick, who says, why does the attack look so disjointed? Game plan? Lack of familiarity, bad luck. Do you think it was disjointed this afternoon?
No, well, we've said that. I thought at times there was some good link-up play, wasn't there? I think, yes, maybe he's referring to end product, final ball, maybe not creating too much for Ross Stewart. I can see maybe what he's saying there, but I thought overall Pritchard coming back in, I thought he was excellent, looked sharp.
Yep.
It was a couple of weeks ago he sat up here, wasn't he, chatting with us. Picked up his injury at Charlton, so he's been out for 2-3 weeks at least. Yeah. A little bit of training, and he was back out there, and I thought he was bright. His touch looked good. 1 or 2 opportunities. I thought Patrick was bright. Jack Clark in and out of the game at times, maybe see a little bit more from him. But a lot of the ball was down the right-hand side, especially in the first half, wasn't it? But yeah, no, I don't think we looked disjointed too much, really. I think it's always easy maybe to say that when we haven't scored 3 or 4 goals. And as we said there, we have created 25 opportunities. So that you look at that stat and you think, well, we are getting into the final third. We are getting into good areas. Then it's down to the lads then, like it was last week. I've said it there. The manager picks the team, the shape, the personnel, etc. But when it comes down to the nitty-gritty and that moment in front of goal, that's when it becomes down to the lads. And, say it wasn't there last week down at Lincoln. It wasn't there for the majority of the time today, was it? It didn't work the goalkeeper enough, but we did get that one opportunity that mattered.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at another one then here on hashtag Ask Danny. This one is from Skindillis, who says, watching the lads online from Athens. Welcome to the programme. Thanks for watching in from Athens. Let's start the run-in as strong as possible.
Well, yeah, 6 games to go now. The run-in's well underway, isn't it, really? I think... we know there's a battle on our hands. There's 5 or 6 teams. We've just seen how tight it is there in the table. We're all getting pretty much close to games played now. It's been 2 or 3 games here and there for a lot of teams, hasn't it? Yes, Wigan have still got a couple of games in hand, but everyone else is pretty much the same now. So it is in our hands. We've still got to play Plymouth. We've still got to play Oxford, and we've still got to play Rotherham. So out of the 6 remaining fixtures, we've got to play 3 teams in and around us as well. But it comes down to us, and as he said there, what did he say? Let's fight or let's keep going. Of course, we've got to do that. The lads in there, fine margins in football. We've gone from within a minute there. We could have been going in at 0-0. Maybe they'd have got booed off, and you're looking at that table, and we're sat in 8th or 9th as it was, and then the lads are feeling a little bit low tomorrow. The place is flat again, but all of a sudden Nathan's popped up with the goal, and then everyone's Sunday's a little bit better, and we're looking at the table. We're back in the playoffs. With a good fixture next week against Oxford to look forward to.
Looking forward to that one. Let's have a look at another one then. This will be the last one this evening from Claire. The American flag there. He's watching in Indiana, USA. Thanks for watching, Claire. All the time wasting gave the lads the win by giving them 6 extra minutes. How can they get the ball in the net in regular time, though? More shots need to be taken. Well, we had 25 shots, Claire, but more shots on target, more to the point.
Yeah, more shots on target, definitely. Work the goalkeeper more. We say that too much, I think. We've said it in other games, previously here at the stadium. Like, a lot of possession, 80-odd% today.
Yep.
More 80. Often than not, we do have a lot of the ball in games. You know that before you turn up. But yeah, he's right in a way, isn't he? I think it's just turning possession, turning the amount of shots in that final third into working the goalkeeper. We're getting into good areas at times today with ease as well, especially out in the wide areas.
Yep.
Difficult to play through them today because they were sat deep, and we've been through all that. They were compact, so you've got to try and drag them out of those positions and wait for those little slip passes where you've got your Patrick Robertson and Pritchard, Broadhead, these types of players on the pitch. And I think between now and the end of the season, I think.
And those link-ups take time sometimes, don't they?
Yeah, they do, because we've been chopping and changing. Lads injured and coming back out, and it doesn't help. Of course it doesn't. You can't get any consistency really in the starting 11. You know, we've changed it again today. We've gone from a back 3-5-2 last week back to a 4-2-3-1 today.
Yeah.
And I don't think Alex Neil sticks with any formation anyway. He said it to us, didn't he, on the pod, that he'll look at the opposition, he'll see where
suited accordingly.
Yeah, exactly that, and you know, not stick with the winning team because they've won the game. These lads aren't necessarily going to go out next game, so you'll see that. But if we can get these lads, keep these lads fit now, between now and the end of the season, there's not too many left in the treatment room. I think Aidan McGeady, missing any others, I'm not sure. Obviously, you've got Trey Hume wasn't involved, you've got
Jordan
Diaku,
Willis, of course, as
Jordan
well.
Willis,
The long-termers.
But yeah, you're looking, we've pretty much got the full squad back now, so 6 games to go, hopefully 9. They've got to keep on going, keep plugging away, and we start next week at Oxford.
Okay, Danny, thanks for your thoughts this afternoon, as ever. We'll be back in action on SAFC Live, and Sunderland will be back in action next Saturday. It's Saturday the 9th, away against Oxford down at the Kazam Stadium. A big game at the top of EFL League One. Once again, so 6 games remaining for Sunderland. They've won this afternoon, back in action after the international break. They left it late, but it was Sunderland 1, Gillingham 0 in the end. We'll see you next time.